I'm going to give everybody about a minute or two to just kind of transition over from the previous session. And while we wait, I'm actually going to share this Wakelet collection that I have for you today. So if you would like to scan that, you have the ability to do so. Feel free to check out this collection, peruse some of the different resources. I see my partner Lois is here. Thank goodness for that. It's nice to see a familiar name in the chat. Very excited to have you here. Very thankful to have you here. So I can only speak for myself. I've been in on many sessions over the last 2 days. I've been loving it, been so excited to support some of my fellow WeVideo creators. And it's just a load of fun to be able to present to you today on both Book Creator and WeVideo. So again, this is a QR code that you can scan. There's going to be a lot of QR codes possibly, but I think we'll be able to keep track of everything and be ready to go. This is going to bring you to my resource hub that, James, I saw your comment before. You won't have to worry about forgetting anything from this session. You have everything available to you. And we're going to also give you stuff if you're a WeVideo Pro or if you're one that's kind of just starting off that you can take away with you. So for whoever's in the chat, would love to know where you're from, what your role in education is, and what you're using WeVideo for if you already are. And let's talk about Book Creator as well. Is that a platform that you're currently using in your school? Lois, I know you and I are using Book Creator to the fullest. It might be the year for us to also get WeVideo involved in our district with some of our teachers. All right. So as I said, I could not be more excited to be here. The more opportunities I get to present at these conferences and summits and PD Paloozas, it just makes me happy because it gives me the opportunity to share my passion for different EdTech tools, including WeVideo. So I'm there pointing, I'm ready to go. I've got the full PD Palooza theme, and I could not be more thrilled to share with you some of the different things that I've used WeVideo for and Book Creator, and also a little bit of a dilemma that I have. And I'm going to share that with you in a little bit, but I'm very excited to be here and can't wait to share some things with you today that you can take into your classroom. So a little bit more about me. I'm Alex Isaacs. I'm an educational technology coach at Long Branch Public Schools in Long Branch, New Jersey. If you scan that QR code, it is going to bring you to my video portfolio collection that has all of the different types of things that I've posted to YouTube that back in the day when I was a math teacher, I was sharing with my kids. So it was just really a lot of fun for me to kind of create a collection of videos that, boy, I wish when I was creating these, I had something like WeVideo available to me to edit and really just make them all the more dynamic. If you are on X or LinkedIn, this is actually linked where you can click on those and you will be brought to my page. Would love to be able to follow you back and share some ideas and collaborate. And then I've also provided for you WeVideo's homepage in the bottom right corner and then all of their socials that they're really active on. So if you want to really get on that train of following WeVideo either on Facebook or Instagram, X, or YouTube, and I would really recommend the YouTube page because of their amazing tutorials, this is going to be your one-stop shop to really take advantage of all that WeVideo has to offer. If you want to learn even more about me, I've included my digital portfolio, but at this point, I want to kind of get into looking way back in the day where I'm sure if you see that banner right now that's up top, hybrid learning, a retrospective. Frankie, great to see you. Some of us probably kind of get a little bit of knots in our stomach thinking back to those virtual and hybrid remote learning days. I know that for me, I was giving my very best. I know that I was trying to integrate tech in meaningful ways to engage my students, but I know that there was still a whole lot of challenge going on within that space, that sector of education during that time. So I was really creating just a lot of choice board projects, a lot of video content of me showing math tutorials and things like that. And I said to myself, I have to elevate my innovation. I feel this need to do more, at the very least to make my kids and their families feel like things are kind of normal. So I took it upon myself and I got better. This is where I started to get a little bit better. I kid you not, my first video of all time was a vertical video that I then brought into a regular video screen, had the black bars on both sides. I had the Afro work and I had everything going and just really not understanding what video can unlock in both yourself and your students. So what I have here, and I promise I won't be doing a lot of video today. I won't be playing too many of these. If you want to peruse my stuff in your own time, I'd be happy to hear your feedback. I hope no one holds it against me. I was in a whole different mind frame bringing in alter egos. But I'm going to play a brief 1-minute video. That was my attempt to really connect with my students on a whole new level while we were all home. We were all home. I was teaching virtually, and this was my attempt to make things a little bit more normal. And if anybody in the chat wouldn't mind just giving me that you're hearing the audio, I would really appreciate it.
Life is a race and I know I can win it, 'cause I'm learning the rules of the game. If I can stay on the ball, take it minute by minute, I just might make the Hall of Fame. What can I say? I'm doing it the best I can. Leaning on nobody but me. Oh, seeing it from where I stand. Nothing comes easy. Oh, I'm always bringing home second places at the end of every one of my days. But I with all of the bases that keep me doing it the best I can. Yeah, I'm doing it the best I can. I'll keep on doing it the best I can.
Let me just say that the bits of nice feedback that I received in the chat, that's so meaningful to me. I will say, as much as I find that so hilarious, so engaging, there were times where my kids would kind of be looking at me like, is this guy for real? But what I can tell you is that brief video, Adventures in At-Home Learning with Mr. Isaacs and Mr. Bear, and I won't do the Detective Scossi one. It's too far, but that's a Magnum PI parody, but maybe another time. It was something that I led with in my math classes when I transitioned from a STEM teacher to then a math teacher in middle school. I wanted kids to see this side of me, make sure that they would understand that I was willing to kind of step outside the box, recognize their achievements, and just really share my joy for teaching. So, really, what I decided to do then was create more and more of highlighting student achievement, more and more videos of kind of sharing what my teams were doing at my different schools. But I wasn't really getting into the idea of having my students create with video. And that's where, I have that little bit of a dilemma that I mentioned before, because we're going to be talking about app smashing with Book Creator and WeVideo. And I created a lot of this stuff near the end of the school year. So I wasn't able to share this with the teachers in my district. I was able to share it on socials and all that good stuff, which was a lot of fun. But I wasn't able to practice it in my own classroom, and I wasn't able to share it with others in my district to really see what our kids could do in Long Branch. So my hope is that by the end of today, you have the desire, you have the inkling to take these activities and use them in your own class whenever you start school, whether it be, thinking of everybody who has to go back next month, but everybody in the East Coast where I'm from in New Jersey going back in September. I hope that you'll be able to take these away, use them, and go from there. So I'm going to be talking about app smashing, enhancing creativity for students with WeVideo and Book Creator. They're both very dynamic platforms, and I can really kind of summarize this slide in a very short way. These platforms allow students to be more proficient in the 21st century learning skills that they're going to need to be successful when they leave for higher education, for the work world, joining a volunteer program, joining a club. They're going to need to know how to collaborate, how to communicate, how to be creative. We've been talking about AI for well over a year now in the strongest possible way. There are those 21st century learning skills that are not going to be taken away as a result of AI. So whenever I am looking for platforms, my partner Lois as well, I'm looking for ones that have a lot of bang for the buck, a lot of standards based aspects, and both of these have that in spades. So I'm very excited to present to you why I feel like these are great options. So first, both of these provide excellent opportunities for self-expression. And when kids have the ability to share in a way that they're comfortable with, they're going to be more apt to share, and they're also going to tap into their creativity even more. Both of these tools allow for amazing collaboration to take place throughout the creative process, not just at the end or in the middle, but you can give feedback, you can be able to share comments with one another and collaborate on projects at the same time. Both promote personalization and student voice. I don't think I really have to explain why. The kids are sharing more about themselves. They're getting the opportunity, especially in the activities I'm going to share with you today, to choose how they're going to present and which activities they're going to do. You also have the ability to get into that multimodal aspect, providing those different formats to engage their peers, their teachers, their families, and others worldwide. One thing, a very quick tip to some of the teachers out there who are joining us, some of the administrators. One of the biggest things that boosted my kids' agency and pride in work was sharing their stuff with each other in collections of materials and resources, or posting it on X or Twitter at the time, where I would show them feedback from some of the tech platform people and they would enjoy that. So quick question that I'd love to get some answers in the chat. Have you app smashed WeVideo with Book Creator before? If so, how? And if you haven't, well, what's your favorite app smash? I mean, I've got so many, my goodness. I could have a mental Rolodex of how I integrate all of these different tools with one another. This has become one of my favorites right now, just because how they mesh together so well. But I would love to hear in the chat as I can kind of continue on now sharing some of the activities. What are your favorite app smashes? What do you like using? I see we have a slides user in Beth. Beth, one of my favorite ones was kind of app smashing that with Bitmoji, getting that extension and then bringing in my Bitmoji to make it a little bit more engaging for my families. James, hopefully by the end of this, you'll get that feeling to want to do it. I'm sure that you'll at least be able to walk away with some amazing resources ready to use in your classroom. So this is really for me why I feel so passionate about sharing these different types of projects that I've collaborated on with both Book Creator and WeVideo. Fun little nugget about me. I was the last WeVideo ambassador with the previous iteration of their program, and shout out to anybody who doesn't know. Both, I believe, Stu and Ryan are going to be outlining the brand new ambassador and certification program. I've already gone through, I believe, creator and teacher. It's a stellar job by Stu and the WeVideo team. And I'm very excited to really get in there and rep the platform at a whole new level with that fancy new ambassador badge. So very excited to be here on behalf of WeVideo and also Book Creator as an ambassador and trainer too. So I'm going to start with a template that was actually created by Stu Jernigan. And if you've been a part of this conference at all, you're going to know exactly what I'm sharing with you right here. And you know who I'm talking about. This was actually a book template created for World Storytelling Day. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly make a copy of this so that you can kind of see it from two different perspectives. Because what I showed you before was kind of like the reading of the book. And if you're not familiar with Book Creator, all you have to do is hit that remix button, and then you'll get the opportunity to really just change anything in the book as long as it's not locked. But what I have to give credit to for Stu is he inspired me. You know, since I left the math classroom last year and kind of fell out of the Mr. Isaac's 3 Stars and the Adventures in At-Home Learning and the Detective Scossies and the Digital Citizenship Summits that I was a part of, I really haven't done anything other than providing tutorial videos for my teams over in Long Branch, other than a couple of promo videos, some applications. So I have to share this first and give a really great shout out to Stu, because this inspired me to get back involved with video. And it made me want to create, and it was so well thought out. So I'm going to share this with you first as a great option. So here's what I want to share. This was for World Storytelling Day, and I believe it was in April. Maybe I'm wrong. Stu, you're in the chat. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say it was in April. But what Stu did was he provided all of the resources. So if we're unfamiliar with Book Creator, it's a great space. I was close, March. It's a great space to kind of curate resources, add hyperlinks, add interactive elements that you could see here. All of these little pink options and text, these are linked, that will bring you to the different activities that match on WeVideo. So Stu and the WeVideo team just did such an amazing job making this very comprehensive, providing different resources, making it where you didn't have to go anywhere. They even had storyboard templates available to students that they could use. And there were also examples, but you could see here that these are tips for success. You have these available to you that Stu kind of built into these Book Creator templates. So if you were to present your book, you wouldn't have these showing. So it's a really nice option to be able to provide that additional context to any readers. But when you actually go into the read mode, you're not going to see that. So Stu did a great job of kind of providing those additional tips and tricks where you were able to create a video, create different types of GIFs, share where you're from in a video. And when I tell you I had such fun kind of creating and building within this template, I mean it. And I can show you right now, if I go back. All right, we're going to share this tab. This is my book that Stu inspired me to create. And it was a different take on the cover image, everything else. So this was me actually remixing his book. And I'm going to show you some of the different things that WeVideo allowed me to do with this great collaboration with Book Creator. Stu, thanks, brother. Glad you're finally getting a chance to hear me talk in your good graces. You know, I've been shouting from the rooftops all this amazing stuff you've created. It's great to share with you here. So I will say this, for my Book Creator friends out there, we have to promote getting GIFs live and direct in books other than Giphy. So I will say there's a little bit of having to kind of work around getting into your actual WeVideo like projects and kind of sharing it as a link. But you could see that one of the first challenges was being able to create this name animation of yourself. Think about the amount of time that we prep at the beginning of the school year as teachers, trying to figure out what we're going to do that's going to engage kids, make them excited to learn from us, and also make them excited for the new school year and personalize and share a little bit about themselves. Those are all the different types of things that I remember were running through my head just about over a year ago. So with this one, I don't know, I'm an Aquarius, so I decided to kind of bring in that calm kind of ocean or stream kind of going through, and I chose kind of a futuristic font that because I'm into EdTech. So with this kind of integration, you have the ability to kind of link as of right now. And I just stopped my share, so I'm going to redo that one. I was doing well up until that. We're going to bring it right back. Okay. Now, this is one where I also wanted to make sure that I shared that brief video with you, because if I just throw this GIF at everybody and I don't give you any context, you might get a little bit concerned for my wellness as far as, you know, how I'm doing. So one of Stu's other great activities and a great option on WeVideo is the ability to bring in multiple video layers that you can then kind of resize and then put into four corners. So this was a me and four GIFs activity that Stu included. And I want to go to the chat right now. Where are my Office fans out there? What is the starring Mr. Isaacs in the bottom left corner a very good recreation of? I want to know if we've got some real Office buffs out there. Lois, I don't think you're at that level where you know. But I would love to see if anybody knows the reference in the bottom left corner. I'm a big golfer, or at least used to be. I could once play with the best of them. But this was such fun to be able to take 4 videos, cut the parts that make the most, impact. And I even added my logo that I created on another website and brought that in as well. Frankie, it's a very good try. It's the one where Michael goes to New York at the big board meeting, and then he does the spin on stage. And then he says, it's not even a spin, it's a twirl. So yes, but I appreciate it, Frankie. Not everybody's watched all the seasons like 7 times like me. But this was something that if I was still in the classroom when I created this, I would have thrown this at my kids just for them to get a better idea of who I am. And a very special shout out to my partner Lois's son in the bottom right corner, who was at the time a very large 3rd grader who was chasing me on that bike as I was Detective Scossi. That's a memory I'll always remember. And I actually did hit him in the foot with the cup that I threw at him. So it's just, as you could see, WeVideo is giving me that opportunity for me, a math teacher, an EdTech specialist, to be creative, to share more about myself, to do it in many different ways. And I actually have, later on in the Resource Hub, when I share with you at the end, I have a brief little slide deck that's going to show you how to create GIFs on WeVideo, because it's a lot of fun and very easy to do so on this platform. Okay. Now, these are both of the video projects that were involved in the World Storytelling Day, Book Creator, App Smash with WeVideo that Stu created. And you know what? I've still got a little bit of time. I'm going to play the video on the right. This is one that I'm really proud of that is kind of relating to poetry. So this isn't all about creativity. It's also about that if you wanted to include this in a poetry unit, you could. So I'm going to play another brief video. Then I promise we'll cut the videos right there. Where I'm From by Alex Isaacs. Queens and Homedale, that's where I'm from. With clean plate clubs at the Pancake House, not leaving a crumb. I'm from Mario's adventures and Zelda's quests, conquering levels and playing my best. I'm from echoes of the 1994 Rangers' dream, from their Stanley Cup victory, such a triumphant team. I'm from the Bronx Bombers' glory and dynasty. In the heart of the action, I celebrated with such glee. Where the fairways are bright green and stretch wide. I'm from horseback rides and many golf tips applied. Afternoons on the diamond, catching fly balls, to the memories cherished within these walls. Stu, the Mike Richter and Pavel Bure reference, it's just making my heart sing right now. I'm officially old because I watch that video now and I kind of get like a little choked up. I remember being in 3rd grade watching that Rangers team win. I'm still heartbroken that the Rangers didn't take it this year. They got beat down by the Panthers. It's very painful. But imagine kids getting the opportunity to share more about themselves while incorporating poetry. So it's just something that, again, I was inspired. And here's the best part about that video. There was one portion of it that was not already built into WeVideo's, like just best stock footage, HD, all of that. And that was the Rangers hugging each other. Every other aspect, from Yankee Stadium to the Mario Brothers, all of it, that is built right into that stellar library of resources and assets that WeVideo has available in its stock footage. So I would tell you, what a great way for students to share about themselves. All of these, despite it being for World Storytelling Day, are an excellent opportunity to share with your students to start off the school year if you feel confident enough to really delve. So I have to give a shout out to Stu. I loved creating in that book that he did. And I don't know, he and I might collaborate on creating a Wakelet companion collection to add a little bit more detail even and share some more examples. I'm excited at that prospect as well. So in addition, I've been talking up Stu the whole time. In addition to him inspiring me to create those videos and that content with his great Book Creator template, I was also very inspired to create more on Book Creator, incorporating both of these two templates while incorporating story sparks and ideas that are going to make students want to write more about themselves or remix a fairy tale. So what I did was I collaborated with both Book Creator, and shout out to Dave Hotler and Katie Fielding. They're big influences on this, as well as Stu and Ryan with WeVideo. I'm very appreciative of all their feedback and all their help. And I was just so excited to present this template to everybody at ISTE who attended my session. I couldn't have been more proud to share this with everybody. And again, this is something where I'm hopeful that people will take this resource, remix it, and then use it in their own class. So this is my iteration on giving students the opportunity to share about themselves in multiple different ways that allows both of these platforms to really sing. So I've got my nice cover image. Again, you could see the influence of Stu very much with that teacher guide page. But I also have opportunities to talk about the storyteller. So giving students the opportunity to share about their favorite ways of producing media, adding a selfie of themselves. Book Creator has a great option of adding in transcribed audio messages, which you can see in the bottom right corner. And it's a great option to really boost accessibility. Both platforms offer multiple options for that. But this is where I really started to kind of think, what can I do? And I'm going to switch tabs really quick. What can I do to really offer a lot of different great options and ideas within this book while also keeping it very engaging? And I actually have to go to the WeVideo library right now. There it is. Okay. So I want to make sure that everybody kind of sees those additional contexts. So for anybody who decides to really remix this collection remix this book, I did provide a Wakelet companion collection that shows the standards that relate to this, both ISTE and state standards. So you have that available to you. And you also have abilities to gain a free trial with WeVideo. And then I've kind of linked each of the different activities here. So again, I showed you this, but now we get into those different types of activities where I'm giving students multimodal opportunities to share more about themselves. So again, I'm providing you that additional teacher tip in the left side, some different prompts that you can use with WeVideo in order to kind of get your kids on there creating, but they already have those great activities built in as well. So for me, I tried to do almost like a year in review retrospective because I created this near the end of the school year. So for me, I was trying to bring in images, audio, and video within these activities. So for me, it was give me an image that defines your school year, pick out your favorite memory at school where you're even going to provide some text if you choose to do that, an audio message for the thing you're most proud of, but then the ability to simply upload videos. That's awesome, Beth. Yeah, it's a great app smash with Canva too. The ability to simply upload videos and then have the player right there for students, for anyone who reads your book, is one of the great integrations between these two. So I kind of set this up where students were doing those reflection activities near the end of the school year, really looking back and hopefully taking away some fond memories from the year. So that was the first activity I offered. And here's the great thing about remixing this. Let's say you don't like my prompts. You will have the ability to simply double click on those text boxes and edit those to fit your needs. So that's something that you don't have to worry about. This is not as is, and you have to share this with your students. You can remove pages, you can remove prompts or edit them. You can change the GIFs. You have all these different options available to you. But what I've also provided is whenever you see that audio button icon, that means I'm giving you additional context on what would be a good tip to use this with your students. So I would love to see in the chat, how were you kind of celebrating your school year at the end of the year? Was it a slideshow? Did you make a video? What was your move to kind of conclude the school year and then kind of share that with others? Because for me, the ability to create videos, bring them into a book creator book, and then share the link to that book with families, what a great option to really combine both of these tools. Now, the second activity that I offered everybody, again, telling stories. I think that we tell stories maybe mostly with food. I mean, to me, food is culture, food is family. I made this page where students have the opportunity to take pictures of either their dish, cooking the dish, their family eating the dish, a nice moment where they were all eating or preparing this dish together. You can add your recipe in the bottom right corner to that cork board. And then you're again going to be able to bring in that WeVideo that you create on the platform, download, and then bring it in right here. Karen, that's a great idea too. Love putting that in the hands of the students so that they're kind of taking ownership of their own learning, planning out a summer vacation. Or goals, of course. Goal setting would be a great idea too. That video player is meant to be where kids drag their video in to kind of share either the cooking process or even using WeVideo to create just a picture of the dish and then provide a narrated voiceover. So you have so many different options within these different activities that I would hope students would feel comfortable sharing more about themselves in these different multimodal ways. So that's one that I feel as a kid, my family probably would have gotten the biggest kick out of, because being able to kind of document the process, putting those photos into Book Creator, and then adding that video of the cooking of the dish, and then sharing the enjoyment of it, sharing a little bit more context as far as why this dish was so meaningful to you. I think that this is another great activity to kind of kick off the school year with. And last but not least, I didn't want to solely provide activities that were, purely creative. I wanted to provide some level of, okay, this is going to be a very standards-based kind of activity, but also infusing those creative opportunities. So I did a My Fairy Tale remix. It's 2 pages. That's my planning page. And then this is the ability to share your story. So basically what I did is I broke this down into like a graphic organizer, so to speak. And the kids are kind of on stage with their different rounded rectangles, and I provided audio context to each of these different parts. But basically, students are going to be selecting their favorite fairy tale, deciding what aspect that they want to remix, and then they're going to be kind of sharing on this page and mapping out how did it impact the different characters, how did it impact the plot, anything along those lines. Did they change the setting? Did that change the theme or the plot? So you're putting that creative aspect in the hands of students, where they're getting that opportunity to really select a story that's meaningful to them, one that they remember thinking back to when they were a kid, or if you're doing this with littles, what they're currently hearing from either you or their families. But I gave you some options as far as changing the main character, setting, motivations, or ending. That can all change. And then I also gave students some bullet points for them to think about as far as what impact is being taken. And then I really wanted them to start thinking about, are you going to work in a group for your video that kind of portrays this specific portion of the fairy tale? What will be the most interesting or engaging part of your renewed story? So I really just wanted to give students the opportunity to plan, because there are always those students that kind of get, you throw all the stuff at them and then they're like, I don't know what to do. So the more context you can provide them, for me always, the more visual you can make it, the better you can do as far as getting them to follow through and follow directions effectively. And this page, nothing too glamorous here. Again, my hope and dream is that I'm able to see some amazing posts on socials, or teachers reaching out to me sharing, hey, this is the page where my students remix their fairy tale, where I offered that easel on the left side as a space for students to design a graphic and share a little bit more about themselves. And then on the right side with that big screen television, that's going to be where they place their video. So once they are kind of done reading the instructions, going through the Book Creator aspect, I've linked WeVideo on the left side. So once you've set up student accounts and they're all ready to go, they're not going to have to leave this Book Creator template in order to go directly into WeVideo, and then really just kind of allowing them to explore that space and make their own videos that are going to let them kind of sing and share what they want to with you in a fun and interactive way. And then I kind of just provided this Book Creator on the back. That was done with Microsoft Design. So that was just for fun, just kind of making a nice space for students to kind of conclude. But this is something that I'm really just hopeful. Teachers, take enough, take enough interest in this idea to kind of share with their students. So this was my main focus right around the springtime when it came to interacting with these two platforms. And it was really exciting to be able to share this in full with you today. So at this point, I'm almost nearing the end, everybody. I actually would like to kind of go through my resource collection to share a few more resources with you, hit you with a call to action, and then I'm going to try to hop back in to some of the other amazing sessions going on today at the PD Palooza. So in addition to that book creator book template, if you would like the even more context, even more teacher tips, if you would like to see the full lesson details with standards and all of that attached, you have all of this available to you. And this is really just trying to make it where both WeVideo and Book Creator resources are all in one space for you to see and use and integrate with your classes. So what I did was I provided, if you could imagine, even more context. I'm all about providing context, hopefully not to the point where we're getting beyond, but I gave even more context. And here's a great thing about this collection. If you share this with your students, they will have the option to use Immersive Reader and translate this. So for all of our educators that are in the chat right now or watching this on demand, if you have multilingual learners, I would highly recommend kind of going through certain aspects of this Wakelet collection with your class, because it really gives a lot more context and a lot more success tips for you to be able to do well. And didn't want anybody to have to say like, well, you know what, how am I going to assess my students? I did create, and it's going to prompt you to make a copy. I did create what I think is a good base rubric for you to use while scoring students on these projects that they create for Story Sparks. So that's one resource that I have available to you that I hope you'll take advantage of. But in addition to that, as I said, we have Stu's book template that I would recommend. It does not have to be limited to World Storytelling Day. These are great beginning of the year options, and I would definitely tell you to take a look at it. Think about remixing it with your students. You have my book that I shared with you as a reference. And now for me, I want to just hit everybody here, everybody who's watching, with a call to action. So my call to action is I would want everybody who's watching, everybody who's listening, to create a GIF using WeVideo. Now, I know that there's been parts of sessions that are doing tutorials on making GIFs. It is so easy to do so on WeVideo. It's very comprehensive. You have the ability to add great text boxes and other animations within your GIF. So I didn't want to leave anybody hanging. I didn't want to leave anybody feeling lost. So that video right up top that is available to you. All right, so we're on WeVideos. It is ready to guide you through the newest iteration of the WeVideo editing platform. It's going to show you start to finish how to create a GIF. And what would really make my heart sing would be everybody tagging WeVideo Creative on social, sharing their GIFs, tagging me, tagging Ryan and Stu. It would be amazing. So I'm challenging everybody out there, because GIFs are not just for fun memes. You could do it for concepts. You could have students make a real world comparison. And there's a really great opportunity here for students to become engaged. So not only am I presenting on App Smashing, Book Creator, and WeVideo, but I'm going back to my 8th grade math days where I was a teacher. And when I had my students create memes and GIFs, their engagement went through the roof. So again, that video is not the only resource I made for you. You have this Canva slide deck available, including the GIF versus GIF debate. I was a GIF guy. I don't know what happened. Now I'm a GIF guy. Who could tell? But you have some of the rationale behind it, along with an Edutopia article. I included WeVideo's post on how to create a GIF. All right, so we have the video again, and then that top right corner, when I made that yesterday to promote, geez, it's a tough one for me, WeVideo's PD Palooza. But all 3 of those GIFs were made with WeVideo, and it was a lot of fun. It was so much fun. Margaret, I'm going to have to read yours a little bit more carefully. The only real GIF thing that I kind of factor in is you want to kind of keep it a little bit shorter, but I'm actually going to take that to heart and kind of use that comment, because I wasn't aware of that accessibility feature. So I hope that mine that I created are not actually causing too many issues out there for anybody. So that's available to you as well. And then this is where I said, okay, I've seen so many amazing questions from attendees at this conference. I got to stop using amazing so much. I wanted to provide everybody with a one-stop shop for WeVideo's best resources. So I've included WeVideo's YouTube page to get a full span of all they have to offer, from tutorial videos to use cases to different teachers sharing what their students created. That's the first one available to you, and I would definitely tell you to look into that YouTube page, because it's got some great resources available to you. But I'm going to be a little bit preemptive with Ryan and Stu. I'm going to share those WeVideo certification courses right here, right now. They are available. They are really great. They do a great job of using the interactivity feature that are built into WeVideo as well. And I will be so excited to rock that ambassador badge and hopefully get at the very least Lois certified on the platform along with some of my teachers in Long Branch, New Jersey. And you can also see that there are not only WeVideo certification courses for teachers and educators, but you also have it for students as well. So if these ideas appeal enough for you to use this with your students, I think that it would be a great idea to take that time in maybe those opening weeks where you need some space. I would tell you to maybe have them take a look at that, at least student level one. At the very least, you could play the video that Stu made on how to edit projects within WeVideo. I think that that would be a great start for you. So I am highly recommending the professional learning that WeVideo has fully revamped. And again, I got to give a shout out to Stu. I feel like I was like a companion along with him, listening to his voice guide me through all the newest features on this great platform. In addition to that, I'm sure that there might be some friends out there who are doing creative challenges every month. I can speak for myself. While I was working on all of these different projects with WeVideo and Book Creator, I might not have been the most active for the WeVideo creative challenges. And my hope this year is that I'll be participating in those monthly as an ambassador with the platform. So they have some pre-made activities that are really stellar at allowing students to share more about themselves. They do it on a monthly basis, and I'm very excited to delve more into that this year. I've also curated yes, very excited for that one, Ryan, as well. I can't wait to see the new ones for this fall. But again, there are already some great ones for the previous year as well. We also have their standards aligned WeVideo projects. This is another great aspect where I know teachers are looking to kind of save time, be able to grab and go, a great activity that's standards aligned with full rationales, examples, everything built right into it. So I could not recommend this resource as much as I am as well. I was also very fortunate to be a part of a webinar with Ryan and Christina Holzweiss and David from Book Creator. If you'd like to kind of just see from that lens, I included that YouTube video. And let's say that you're completely new to Book Creator. I'm very happy to have my partner Lois here in the chat with me. We use Book Creator in our district as well. So we wanted to just create a one-stop resource hub for everybody so that if you're more confident with WeVideo, here's a great place to get started with in order to learn more about Book Creator. So that's available to you as well. And I promise I'm nearing the end of the resources. If you are looking to hear more about WeVideo app smashing with Wakelet, which is the platform that I'm presenting from, you have 2 activities for digital citizenship and National Hispanic Heritage Month. And Ryan, I got to say, hanging out with you and Tisha, I believe that was in October. It was such fun, and I was happy to share that video as well within this collection. So at this point, I think I've shared resources enough to people's eyes are glazed over out there. I only hope that it wasn't too much of a talking head and that you found this to be an engaging session and that I've inspired you to take away these 2 platforms, both Book Creator and WeVideo, and use them in more creative opportunities this school year. So I'll stick around for a couple minutes. If anybody has any questions, I'm in the chat, I'm watching, but I cannot thank WeVideo enough for this opportunity to be able to present at PD Palooza. And I hope that some people will reach out to me either on X or LinkedIn in order to collaborate, share some ideas, and talk a little bit more EdTech. Frankie, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody, for attending. So appreciative of it. And Lois, I'll see you at home very soon. So very thankful for everybody. Thank you, WeVideo team. And I'm wishing everybody a great rest of the PD Palooza conference. Bye, everybody.